Hi there folks, it's me again with an enthralling waffle video. I have here 50 credits on the emulated version of Chances Unlimited, and since I simulated this myself and now have the real thing, you'd be right if you guessed that I've had a little tinker with the ROM. So as they say in the corridors of power, let's play and talk. 10 months ago, I uploaded a video entitled Gain on MPU3 machines. I'll come back to that in a second. What have we got for 2 nudges? Nothing. It's a pity it doesn't tell you what the best win is, isn't it? I think that's 70p, and I don't want to push my luck with winning gambles. Actually, I had that. Did I have that for 4 nudges? Should we stop at cash? I'm afraid you can't hear the paying out on this, but at least it does count it up on the alpha display. Yes, so that video that I uploaded 10 months ago, Gain on MPU3 machines, I used that to show the problems that even the real programmers had in implementing gain. And there was one position where it took 30 seconds between collecting nudges and the lights on the matrix coming on, and the nudge up and nudge down buttons, and that was because it took that long for it to realize that whichever way it nudged the first 2 reels, it was going to end on a win. So one of the statements I made in that video was that it only does the proper gain calculations when you've collected nudges or lost a gamble, and that statement turned out to be true. I made another statement which was that it uses direct nudging, i.e. what you can get if you nudge through wins to the best win in deciding whether or not you actually win a nudge gamble. It turns out that that statement was well, it was highly testicular. So I thought, as indeed many people do, that these things seem to have a knack of losing a gamble where you would get the jackpot if you won it. And it just seemed that it knew that, decided it didn't want to give you the jackpot and you lost the gamble, and that's not the case at all. That's another disastrous exchange. Should we just take our 50p? Should we go over to some Super Series? Oh. Right. Cash or tokens? It's cash. And if you want to know how I know that, it's because if it's paying tokens, it flashes the auto nudge button. It wasn't too bad for cash though, was it? Yes, so in disassembling Snappy Viper, I discovered to my surprise that the way it decides whether you win or gamble or lose gambles is entirely random. It's 50-50 whether you win or lose. So it doesn't look to see that you've got 50p for 4 nudges, and if you win the gamble to 6, you've got £2 and it doesn't want to pay you. It quite literally does not look at all. It just picks a number between minus 128 and plus 127. And those of you who are computing enthusiasts will recognise those numbers. And in short, if that number is positive, you win the gamble, and if it's negative, you don't. Oops, sorry. So I thought to myself, Chances Unlimited seems to lose far more gambles than it actually wins. So I had a look at the code, and the code in Chances is exactly the same as the code in Snappy. And that is true whether you're gambling cash, nudges or super series. It really is a straight 50-50. Now, it doesn't seem like that on this machine, because you seem to exchange cash for nudges, gamble and get 10 pence. And so I'm just wondering whether the random number generator is heavily skewed towards negative numbers. So even though it's random what happens on any given turn, there's still a natural bias in it, because this one seems to lose far more often than Snappy Viper does. So what I've done with this ROM, and which you may already have realised, is that instead of your winning 50% of the gambles, you now win 75%. And it still seems in the long run to pay out the same. So we only need 4 nudges here, don't we? And bear in mind that when I press the gamble button, it's 75%, 25% in my favour. I think that is £2, isn't it? I'm going to gamble again. Can you see the auto nudge button flashing? Yes, I think you can. So it does that when it pays out tokens. Of course, the real one doesn't, so there's obviously a slight issue with the emulation, but that's the only thing I've found. It's a fantastic emulation, as indeed they all are. So this ROM will allow you to win 75% of the gambles, but you will note that we have still lost some of them, because 75% is not 100%. And this time we only need 6 nudges for the jackpot. And bear in mind, I need to win 2 gambles, which will happen just over 50% of the time. But the machine does not know at this point that for 6 nudges I can get the jackpot. It still doesn't know, but as soon as I collect, it does. But of course there's nothing it can do about that now because of game. deathly silence of the payout. One day I'll figure out how to change that. Now this one appears, after it's paid out fortune like that, to go very quiet. So I think the way it deals with its percentage payout is that it just doesn't give you a win at all. But once you do, this particular ROM is constrained to win 75% of the gambles. So it just doesn't give you wins at all if it feels that it's already paid too much out. So that 50% code is present in this. It's present in chances, super lineup, and strangely enough, it's also present in Nick's stake-up machine, which means that on average, Nick will need to win 7 consecutive gambles in order to turn his 80p cherries into £100. And on straight 50-50 gambles, you will win 128, or you will win 7 on the trot one time in 128 attempts. So if Nick does that, he will win £100 once and fail all the other times. And if he collected 128 80p cherries, he'd have more than 100 quid. So even gambling up to the jackpot is a losing proposition for the player with the ROM that I've given him. Although he may be interested in making it more generous, but that's another conversation. So there we go. We put in 50 credits and we got out £10.10. So what do you reckon? Too generous? There's no particular reason why I couldn't modify this ROM to make it look at the switch settings and add, say, 3% on for each switch that is selected on. You can customize your own machine. I just thought I'd upload that to show firstly how these programs actually decide whether you win the gambles, and secondly the effect of what happens if you go in and change that. I do hope that was of some interest, and that it might explain why Chances Unlimited seems to be a much tighter machine than some of its MPU3 friends. But there you go. I shall leave my waffling at that, and I shall thank Chris of Chris217 channel for introducing me to all of this sort of nonsense in the first place. And no doubt I shall be back at some other point with another enthralling video. So thanks again. Bye.